Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 135. Today's date is March 13th, 2022, and I am Duds, or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. So what have you been up to this week, Duds?
I played Minecraft.
You did?
Yeah. That doesn't sound shocking to some of you guys, but to those who know, I ended up not playing at all last week. So the fact that I actually played some this week was a good thing. I've just been so tired from work and then hitting creative blocks. I ended up just forcing myself to place blocks this week, and it just kick-started something. So I built a really nice pond in front of my house, which I absolutely adore. And it really is pushing I want to do some landscaping around my base. The problem is it's easier to landscape when you have the buildings already in place to landscape around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, I need to get working on that. But then I also worked with Carl and did a blaze farm. We've been wanting to do this blaze farm for weeks, but we could never get our times lined up. So it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And finally on Thursday, we built the blaze farm. It is super simple. Even the blaze farm last season was more complicated than the one we just built, but it works. It was built incorrectly. Yeah, Carl, I'm letting everyone know on air. Carl does not know how to count, but it still works. Though I was placing, because blazes get pushed by lava now, and I was placing the lava to push all the blaze to the center, and because we built the size of the cage wrong, I have a couple dead spots of lava.
Yeah.
Which really stink. And for some reason, the blazes are attracted to those dead spots. And you just kind of have to wait for them to go into their I'm going to wander mode. Because the second they wander out of that spot, the lava picks them up and pushes them down.
Yeah.
But, yep. Blaze Farm's nice.
Still works, though, right?
Yeah, it still works.
Yeah.
It probably will not be my XP, though. So I've said that I want to not use an ender for XP this season. So I'm trying to find ways around that. And I was like, Blaze Farm produces a good bit of XP and I get fuel at the same time. I don't mind waiting a little bit longer to get more XP because I'm getting a lot of fuel.
Right.
Man, but I sat there for like half an hour. I only got like 2 stacks of rods. And yeah, I fixed all my tools and stuff, but it's like, that was almost not worth it. I'm thinking about making one of those XP on demand furnace machines.
Those are nice.
Yeah, they work by smelting cactus. So you kind of need a massive cactus farm. I already have a cactus farm, and it produces relatively well. But to do that machine, I need a really big cactus farm and a bamboo farm to fuel it. And it's like, do I want to build another cactus farm just for this? But if I do it, I'm going to put it inside the mountain, kind of tucked and hidden away.
Right. It's nice having that on-demand XP. I had one of those last season. You want to make sure it's constantly, you got cactus constantly coming in too.
Yeah.
Just so you can actually get your stuff mended.
Yeah, I built one in season 2 of Ripple Effect, and it was nice. And I had an automatic shut-off valve where if all the furnaces had gone through the amount of XP they needed and stored up, that it would shut both farms, both the bamboo and cactus side off. So I wasn't running machines that didn't have to be run. Well, the cactus farm, the only thing I did to turn it off was I broke a water stream and just dumped it into lava. Because you can't really turn a cactus farm off. But there was no extra build-up. Nothing was just floating around waiting to be used up. So that might come at some point this season. I'm going to keep giving the Blaze Farm a try. Maybe I ended up liking it more later. But right now, meh. And the meh doesn't come from Carl's design where he couldn't count. The meh is not Carl's fault if you guys think I'm blaming Carl on that. It's just, it's been so long since I used one. I felt they were faster previously than they are now.
Yeah.
The other thing we did was Stream Weekend, which is still going on as we speak right now. Ripple Effect people are streaming.
Right.
But I'm not streaming today. I don't think you're streaming today either, are you?
No stream.
Yeah. 2 days is too much for me. I did that last stream weekend. But I ended up making these giant ice paths that connect all the farms on my base, and I love it. So I made mention when I built my cactus farm that it was going to be the gathering pit for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've done is my wheat farm goes to a barrel next to my cow farm, because obviously that's what I'm using it for. And I've been manually having to pull the wheat out and put it in the composter right next to it. Not horrible, but not great, especially when my iron farm has a composter built to it and a massive bone meal silo storage system that wasn't keeping up with the wheat farm, which I always thought was weird. I know this thing's producing a lot of poppies. Why can I not even get a single chest full of bone meal, whereas this wheat farm's just massively filling up chests over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out I broke my sorting system.
Oh, for the iron? For the poppy filter?
Yep. And none of the poppies were going into the system.
Oh, wow.
I accidentally put a single tick on the repeater for the sorter, and instead of going in through a buffer hopper, it was going straight into the composter, and a composter is slower than a hopper. So you tie in the slower composter and then the 1 tick delay on the sorter, and I had not six. How many stacks can you have in a hopper? Is it just 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah, I had 5 stacks of poppies sitting in a hopper. And anytime a group of poppies would come in, it would only release 1 poppy into the composter.
Yeah, I had that issue with my iron farm. I don't know if we set our filter up the same way, but yeah, that's the thing. It was gathering up in the hopper above the composter because the redstone torch was like holding it there to where when one would come in, one would go through.
I know how to fix it.
You delay it.
No, you have to. I accidentally delayed it.
Oh, okay.
You want a repeater with no ticks on it,
right?
Or I guess 1 tick, because a repeater comes stock with 1 tick.
Yeah,
but
that's how I got it.
You need a buffer hopper between. So you have your sorting hopper,
yeah,
and then you have the hopper below it that gets powered by that torch. You need 1 more hopper before you go into the composter.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that. I don't have room.
Can you go to the left or right?
I don't believe I can. I'm like inside of my tree that I built, and there's very little space. I was surprised I was able to put a filter in there, but it filters it out, but it only goes so far down to where it's got to shoot down into my storage system. I don't know, maybe I can mess with it a little bit, but I know what you're saying.
Maybe I can come over to it, because all I did was take the hopper that was getting powered by that torch and turn it to the left, and then had another hopper that went straight down to the composter. So the composter stayed at the same Y value. It just moved to the left 1 block.
Okay. I might be able to do that.
Yeah. And that fixes it because it'll go through that 1 hopper normally and then go into the buffer hopper. And then that buffer hopper can take as long as it wants because it's not getting powered.
Right. I might be able to do that now that I got the picture in my head. Because I already moved everything down once just to fit that in there.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to, have to move it down again.
Yeah, you don't have to move the composter down. If you have room to left or right, you can, hell, even forward, you can do that.
I'll try. I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, I got really excited when I found that out because I was getting really kind of upset that my iron farm, which is already overflowing on iron, like it's just getting trashed now, going into lava.
Ooh.
I was like, I know there's a ton of poppies coming through this stupid system. Why am I getting such little bone meal?
Right.
Because my light block farm requires a ton of bone meal, and I wasn't getting any. So, yeah. Now every farm will go into the bulk farming storage system, which is now set up to the composter. So when the storage system overflows, they'll get automatically composted, turned into bone meal.
Nice.
Really happy with that.
Yeah, you need that.
Sorry, I have got the sniffles this morning. I woke up at 6:30, which says a lot because we lost an hour today because America's in daylight savings time mode now.
Oh, that's why I feel so tired.
Yeah. So I woke up early, took a shower, and all right, I'm going to make sure my nose isn't stuffy by the time we go to record. And it wasn't. And now that we've hit record, my nose is just running.
It means I was up at 5 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
You win.
I mean, normal time.
Yeah.
I woke up at 6, but it's really 5 a.m.
That's all from a week. I did some more things, but that kind of ties into our main topic, so I'll leave it for that. How about you? You actually built something really fun.
Yeah, I've been working on it this week. It took a while for this episode to get out. It's going to come out. Actually, it'll be out by the time you guys hear this, so I guess I can spill the beans. I built a gunpowder/record farm.
Mm-hmm. And I got to see it.
Yeah, you came over and got to see it. I had to set it up to where I had a skeleton shooting at an iron golem, like just constantly. It'll be shooting at the iron golem.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make it to where he doesn't hit the iron golem, but he can see it. So what I had to do was put a water stream in between them, like right outside the skeleton. And that kind of lowers the projectile distance of the arrow, and it always comes up short.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how it ended up happening, but it goes like right over the block where the creeper's going to stand. It's like a perfect arch that goes over this block. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I could not have done this any better. Like just the positioning.
Mm-hmm.
Got real lucky there. But my main concern was the creeper blowing up.
Yeah.
It's not going to have a big fall because I have a farm right above this farm. So it's not going to fall very far. But because I put a magma block there,
mm-hmm.
when the skeleton shoots at the creeper, for one, there's one block it shoots through. So there's a block hiding the creeper's face. Creeper can't see anything.
Yep.
But I was afraid.
Can't be angered.
Right. I was afraid the skeleton, because it's a little lower than where the creeper sits, the skeleton would hit it back, knock it back a little bit, and then the creeper could see it slightly and then blow up. That was what I was afraid of. But the magma block prevents it from moving. There's no knockback. It sits there and gets shot. So I was grateful for that. Nothing explodes. It all works. The only thing is the records.
Mm-hmm.
They don't stack. So I had to have an overflow to take care of all the extra records. I don't even know if I'm going to fill this thing up. Eventually, I might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's on this magma block, it could die without the arrow. So I'm not getting all records from every creeper, which is good because eventually I'm going to get all the records. It's just I'm going to overflow if I just get them off of every creeper. And preventing that helps with the magma block. It seems to work out really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to do a lot of spawn proofing. There's a lot of areas below my base where mobs are spawning and taking away from the efficiency.
Yeah. When I was setting up my water streams, I ran into a couple caves, and I thought I had done a decent job. I know there were still some caves going around, but when I went into spectator mode just to make sure items weren't getting stuck and all that stuff, because that's the worst when you build a water stream and the items aren't processing through, so they're just stacking there. So now you have entities just piling up. And as I'm watching it, I kind of glanced down and went, oh, I got so many caves to let up still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I put my player at a certain Y level to where below my farm there wasn't anything spawning, so I got a good bit of creepers in there.
Yeah.
To where I was able to watch the action take hold.
Now, are you doing the cat scares the creeper?
Yes. Just one level. It's not even like a full level. It's like a half level. The cats just push them one way.
Yeah.
Force them to go one way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ledge that they try to go to with 2 trapdoors that they fall in and go into the water stream and on over to where they get shot. Pretty easy setup.
I mean, it's not the most efficient farm in the world, but when you think about it, it'll be running while you're at your base and you're just a single player.
Right.
It'll probably be more than enough for you.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing to where I need to shut it off. If I have to, I can go down and just throw one torch down.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to go through levels and levels of creeper farms to stop this thing. If I need to put a torch down, I can. But I don't think it's going to be as efficient to where I have to do that.
I'd still hook up like a redstone lamp just for the heck of it.
Yeah, I could do that. Could be easy enough. Or maybe possibly make it to where I can block the line of sight of the skeleton to where he's not shooting 24/7. Maybe I can take the record spot off and just kill the creepers.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too. Just break the line of sight.
Yeah. You can do that with a piston or whatever in a solid block.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a solid block, a glass block will do it. What am I thinking?
Yeah. That's something I might implement. But yeah, it's working really well.
Also,
I wanted to bring up the whole spectator thing. In multiplayer, some people might think like it's cheating to see through the ground. It's like X-ray. We get it.
Yeah, aubni, every time I go into spectator mode, hacks. I hear you, Walrus.
Yeah. Yeah. But on like a multiplayer server, when, mob counts, it affects everyone on the server. It's nice to have your caves lit up. And if it helps to X-ray to find these caves just to light up, not to go looking for diamonds or ores to become more rich.
No.
But just to light things up.
That ruins the fun of the game.
Right. Yeah, you're just helping yourself and everyone else out by doing that.
And yeah, if you go back into Worlds and you look where I'm at, I'll do the spectator to see if I have in what area they're in. But I'm not spectator mode jumping from cave to cave. I'm still, all right, I got to find my way down to find a cave. And I'm usually walking through the caves and stuff.
Right. Yeah, once I get to the caves,
The amount of times I've gone back at the end of the season and realized I was living on top of like a skeleton spawner that could have been super useful.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I spent all year traveling to use a skelly spawner when there was one right here.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. Like last season for Ripple Effect, the space between me and Carl's base in Spawn Town, there was a skeleton spawner 20 blocks below the surface.
Huh.
Never knew it. That would have been an amazing early game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
I did do a little stream also.
You did stream.
Stream weekend, worked on my island.
Yeah, I missed your stream. I didn't wake up yesterday till 10 a.m.
Yeah, and I was at a birthday party while you streamed, so I didn't get to see the, connecting farm thing.
Jimbo's like, you're not going to watch me? I ain't watching you. Have some cake.
I tried to at the party. I was like, oh, Dud is streaming. Let me put this up and, at least lurk a little bit. But no, my signal was terrible. It was not, you were just standing there on my end. I was like, well, can't watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, it took all of an hour and a half to do those ice paths. They were long.
You have to check it out.
Like a couple 100 blocks at a time. And it didn't help. I did the wrong path multiple times. This is how you can tell I don't use spectator mode to cheat. When I do the pass and I'm like, okay, it should be about this height. And I start going and I'm 100 blocks away from where I should be. I'm like, I should have hit this thing by now.
Yeah, I use it to kind of just point me in the general direction.
Yeah, that's why I want Tweakaroo, because that's something a lot of the people use on our server. And it just is like a disembodied camera. So you don't have to constantly jump between game modes. Which is real nice. I haven't done another data pack thing. It's like,
yeah, using replay mod too. When you do a replay, you're bound to, find yourself in the ground somewhere.
Yeah.
To X-ray by accident. If you don't mean to, I mean, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, I don't see it as that big of a deal. It's not like people are going around hunting for things.
Right.
It's like when someone pops into spectator mode, it's usually to see, 1, why is this broken and not working? Or 2, I'm taking a screenshot from my thumbnail.
Yeah.
Anyways, should we get into the news?
Yeah, we got big news today.
We got big news. So the Allay is on Bedrock.
Mm-hmm. Lucky.
Yeah. We know the Allay got voted in the mob vote. Its main thing is that you give it an item, and it goes in and it collects those items and bring them back to you. If you have a note block playing nearby, it'll go and it'll throw it at the note block.
Mm-hmm.
They'll spawn. See, now this is a big thing. We didn't know how they would spawn.
Right.
They're spawning in cages next to the villager outposts and inside the woodland mansions.
And I love that. I thought that was a perfect location for the pillager outpost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But like the fact that they're in mansions in these cells, I guess every mansion doesn't have a cell. I don't know. I could be wrong there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it makes it more worth going to these mansions.
Agreed.
Because now that you can get these pillagers and vexes and all the other mobs in raids, there's really no reason to go there. Because the loot really isn't all that spectacular. But now you can get an Allay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And the Allay is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I love the look of the Allay.
Similar to the Vex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, think of a Vex, but cute.
Mm-hmm. A little bit brighter blue.
It looks exactly like the promo picture that they had for it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll look similar on Java. This is Bedrock we're talking about, but...
Yeah. Hitbox is a little bit smaller than a single block, which is a relatively big hitbox, considering.
Yeah.
I think they didn't want to make the same mistake they made with bats, who have a super small hitbox and are hard to hit, so it would be hard to give the Allay something if it had a small hitbox, which it still is hard to give something to the Allay. Those guys are constantly moving up and down, and there's no real way to lure the Allay towards you.
Yeah, it does look like it doesn't, like just wander off into the sky. It kind of stays at the ground a little bit, but it is constantly moving. I think it's like 4 or 5 blocks. The highest it goes.
Yeah.
It could take off, like if you have an item higher that it needs to go after, it'll go up there and,
and get it, yeah.
Right. No obstacle for the Allay.
Mm-mm.
Besides water.
Yeah, it does not like water.
Yeah, it kind of steers clear from the water. Can drown.
If it goes into water, though, it creates this crazy bubble phenomenon around it.
Yeah.
As a way to float up. Now, the only thing I have a problem with is the Allay can drown. So it's like 15 seconds underwater and it drowns.
Mm-hmm.
Or starts taking damage, I should say. But when you see it underwater, it has this crazy bubble effect around it, which I get they're making it look like it's flapping or whatever to try to get out of the water. But as Minecraft players, we're taught that when you see bubbles, there's air there.
Right.
And you can't drown, per se.
Yeah, you feel like it should be able to breathe if there's bubbles all around it.
Right. Exactly. That's what I love the animation. I like how it looks, but it's one of those. It's like my thing with the soul sand and magma cubes. Soul sands you sink down, so soul sand should pull bubbles down, whereas magma cubes or the magma blocks are hot. Therefore, heat rises. It should push items up. I've always felt that they had that backwards, but
yeah, I agree with that. Like the only thing that can go against it is the magma block gives damage.
Yeah.
To the entity. Only reason to pull it down into it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Allay can only remember a note block for 30 seconds. So that means any note block machine you have set up has to have a timer on it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of that, because that's just asking for lag.
Yeah, it's way more steps to using this thing than you initially thought.
Yeah, a lot of people were thinking this is going to replace water streams, stuff like that.
Item transportations and...
Yeah, it's visually more impressive to see this little character fly around bringing stuff back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're looking at it, it does a very good job picking things up. But when its inventory is full and it's trying to drop stuff off is when it gets a bit confused. And like sometimes it'll only do a single item at a time instead of an entire stack at a time.
Yeah, if there's more items to grab,
yeah,
it'll only throw one at a time. As of right now, seems like a bug.
Yeah, the little drop-off area. Well, I knew getting it to drop something off in a 1 block space was going to be tough. It'll miss and just keep constantly trying to throw it in until it makes it, which, again, is adorable. But you're like, my items are despawning, go pick them up.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's way more efficient ways and way easier ways.
Mm-hmm.
Way more or less maintenance than using the Allay for item transportation. That's for sure. And like you said, they're not very accurate.
No.
They kind of throw them up. It does like a huge arch. It's like a rainbow.
Yeah.
They throw these items and they throw them all at once, the whole stack. If, like you said, if there's no more items on the ground, it'll throw the whole stack.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, sometimes it misses. And sometimes it like pre-throws it, like they're not right next to where it needs to drop it off and it starts throwing them anyway because they're close enough, they believe, I guess.
Yeah, its pathfinding in tight spaces, too, is a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I say it's a little wonky. It's still better than like 90% of the mobs in the game. I want to get that out there. I think the Allay is very intelligent in its movements. It's just not as precise as it needs to be effective, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a video Exuma Boy put out just today about it shooting basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It would give it a snowball and it would go and shoot the basketball and it would shoot it. And you would think like it would be way more helpful if it just went over and just slam dunked it, but no, it goes for the layup and it could miss a layup. So that's the only thing. You would think it would just put it where it needs to be. No, it kind of just tosses it.
Yeah. He had a little tube set up, a little 1 block high tube that the Allay was supposed to try to fly through to drop the item off. And it knew where the hole was, and it could get up into the hole, but it had a problem fitting into the hole. Remember, it's got a hitbox just smaller than a 1 block size. It's like 0.8 by 0.8. So it can fit. It just had a little bit of trouble being precise enough to get through. And it ended up just standing outside the hole trying to throw items at the note block that's 3 blocks away.
Yeah, I feel like they could shrink the hitbox if they gave it an item,
Mm-hmm.
or if you had an item on you that kind of lures it to where it stood still, that would make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
For you to, come in contact with this thing. It is hard to click on to give it an item because it's moving around so fast. But yeah, if you had something to make it stay still, you could lower that hitbox. I think that'd be all right.
Yeah. I love the idea of, well, one, we don't know if you can breed them.
Right.
But I was kind of hoping you'd be able to breed them and they'd act a bit like dogs, where they'd stay next to your side and kind of travel around with you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a parrot hovering over your shoulder without resting on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That would be very cool to me. The problem is they kind of have the flight pattern to me of bees, where they would prefer to wander instead of staying close.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if you, let's say if you have an Allay bringing you items, and let's say I'm doing this, and you show up. Is he going to go over to you eventually and start throwing items at you because you're a player, or is this my Allay? It's connected with me.
Exactly.
How does it connect with you? We don't know that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious how that would work. I'm sure it would throw some at you.
Right. And there brings up the fact about breeding the Allays. We know how we can find them, but these are also not super common locations to find them in.
Yeah, and there's only so many.
Yeah, Zoomin in his videos found one in the first Woodland Mansion, but he went to 5 villager outposts without finding any.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're playing on an SMP, there's a chance you might not find an Allay unless you go thousands of blocks out, which stinks, especially when you know someone near you probably already has one that you could breed with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know, we just need to know more. I like the start of the Allay. I like the design of the Allay. I think it just needs fine-tuning.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get some fine-tuning with it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't pass through doors, like around doors or something like that. It had trouble.
Yeah, it struggles with doors.
Yeah.
And see, this is where I figured it would be like a Vex and Ghost-like and just kind of fly through.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But I get where it couldn't do that because it's holding an item. That item can't fly through a door.
Right.
So,
what if when you kill the Allay, it turns into a Vex? It's like a ghost. It's like a ghost Allay.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. Yeah, as of right now, we don't know, like, when it dies, drops anything, doesn't drop anything.
No drops.
I wouldn't expect any drops.
Mm-mm. It definitely feels like a mob you're not supposed to farm.
Right. Yeah, very rare.
That seems to be kind of the theme going with this update.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot to mention WyreGuy did bring this up in live chat. He's sitting here listening to us. But it does make non-stackable items have a sorter now.
That's true.
If you give it an enchanted book, it'll go grab enchanted books and bring them to a spot. So there is that now.
Yeah, and it seems like it's like one at a time. Like it can only hold a stack's worth, kind of like a bundle.
Mm-hmm.
So if it has a book, it's only going to have a one book. It's not going to pick up a stack of books. It can only hold a stack's worth or an inventory slot worth, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like all these items that, are non-stackable that you have trouble filtering, that could help. The Allay, that's where it comes in, I bet.
Mm-hmm. That's its big, what do you want to call it? I can't think of the word. I want to say grab bag, but that's not it. Words are hard, man.
I'm thinking of the word. I can't think of it.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk about the Allay in our listener comments, but let's get some of the other things that have changed. Bedrock's getting updated touch controls. It enables a preview of new touch control schemes for players on mobile devices, and they can enable this by going to the settings, touch, enable new touch control schemes. I hear the touch control schemes are kind of like the big thing holding back a lot of Bedrock players, so hopefully that helps out.
Yeah, I was never a fan of playing on mobile because of the whole touchscreen settings. Maybe this will help. Maybe I'll give it a shot and see what it's like. I
was at an oil change place getting the oil in my car replaced, and I watched a kid play Minecraft for an hour on his phone. And this kid was moving around, parkouring, building stuff so fast.
Yeah.
I was like, I could never do that on my phone.
My son does that on his tablet. I'm like, he'd rather play on that than the computer. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Every time I go into the Nether on mobile, it's over. That's the end. I'm not getting out alive. I'm not getting out there. Can't protect myself.
Yeah. There's some vanilla parity changes too. We know how much Bedrock people like to say parity. So, hey, guess what? You get your Shulker farm shells now. Yeah, Shulker shell farm. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Shulkers now have a chance to duplicate, or I say duplicate, spawn another Shulker when they get hit by a Shulker projectile. Same as Java.
Love more parodies.
When a mob picks up an item, the item can be pulled towards the mob as it picks it up. This matches Java edition behavior. What? I don't ever see that.
I guess if you're close enough, maybe does it not do that in Bedrock? Are you talking about you don't see that in Java?
Yeah. I guess the pop animation of a mob picking something up, I'm so used to seeing that. I don't know, like I'm so used to seeing the Bedrock animations for stuff, and they're so detailed and precise that the Java animations just kind of be like, magic!
Yeah. I don't know if pulled is the right word there.
Yeah.
That they're trying to use. I know if like there's an item above my head and I can't quite reach it and I jump, I'm not quite at the item, but it'll give it in my inventory. I'm thinking that's what they mean.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, that'd be so annoying.
Maybe Bedrock, you gotta actually hover above it or actually go to that block. Yeah, that would be annoying.
Another reason to play Java.
Well, not now.
Yeah, no.
Bedrock got it.
All right. But that's it for the news. Covered a good bit of stuff. Let's hop into listener comments. This one's from Lock On 4. They asked, Duds, Jimbo, and Carl. So hear that, Carl? If you got input, now's the time. Now that the Allay is out in Bedrock, it is only a matter of time before they pop in Java. What do you think you would do with the Allay? Infinite storage, mobile lag machine, Allay versus Vex. I would go infinite storage. It's so funny when they throw blocks at you. That's something we didn't cover either. Is the Allay does not attack the Vex. The Vex do not attack the Allay.
Yeah, there's actually not a mob I could think of that attacks the Allay.
I don't think so either, which is what I would consider a good thing.
Yes, we know the Allay's passive, so
yep.
It doesn't attack. I don't think there's any weakness for it besides water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, cactus, the normal stuff.
Yeah. Anything that a passive mob could take damage on.
Yeah, probably a magma block. Which is funny because it flies.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Could always move. But the infinite storage thing, I think it would be way too much of a headache.
Yeah.
It would probably be really fun to see. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone could pull it off, it would be awesome to see. I'm sure we're going to see it eventually. But man, the effort and the work involved. The thing is with the storage system is you're trying to store every item in the game. So would you need an Allay per item?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's hundreds, maybe 1,000 Allays running around for this kind of, big storage.
You're lucky in the fact that you can give it a wool block, and no matter what the color is, it'll pick it up. So if you give it a white wool block, it'll pick up the red wool, it'll pick up the blue wool. Same with terracotta.
It does that?
I'm assuming the same with concrete.
Okay.
So you have that, which is nice, but if I give it dark oak wood, I don't want it going and bringing me spruce.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Is there any way you could see it as useful?
I like the idea of a buddy system.
Okay.
You can breed it or somehow tame it, and it stays near you. Because other mobs aren't constantly trying to attack it, it would be nice to have it. You're not like, I don't bring dogs with me because I'm afraid of other mobs killing the dog. And then all the other little things like crossing a river, going near lava, all these things could kill my dog. And Allay, which is flying and hovering and stuff, would be nice to have as a companion piece. Not to mention if I'm doing something and let's say I'm mining for something, but I'm mining over a ravine and I break a block that's just out of reach, so I could give the Allay the item. It flies over, grabs the item, brings it back to me.
Yeah.
That, like, a companion that way would be, to me, the most useful. When you're farming chorus fruit, giving it a chorus fruit seed.
Yeah.
As you're shooting the plant, it flies down there and just picks it all up. That could be fun.
Mm.
But as a way to replace water and ice streams, I wouldn't do it.
Me neither.
Even some of these redstone sorting things, the only thing I can see that would be an upgrade would be the fact that if I left the chunks, it probably wouldn't break the system.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of stays stationary when you leave its vicinity, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem I can see about it being like a companion, you taking it with you,
Mhm.
is the fact that unless you give it an item, there's no way to attach the player to this thing. It's not
Right.
technically yours, so
Mm-hmm.
it could wander off with someone else, while you're wandering around. You're like, where'd he go? And it's in someone else's house,
Yes.
making steak or whatever it's doing. It's like, what are you doing there? But yeah, that's the only issue there. Maybe there will be a way, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I was thinking I could take this thing when I go desert mining. And there was an example of this actually on Exuma's video of when I'm picking up all this sand. Sometimes you miss some sand while you're gathering it, or sometimes when you're digging out sand, you got to stop and go gather up the sand that you didn't pick up. Now this Allay can pick all that stuff up. You don't have to backtrack. That was my idea of it, and doesn't necessarily do that. There's that thing where if there's items on the ground, it's only going to throw you one and go back for another item. So if they can fix that, it would be more useful. And then there's the fact that it does get in the way. I mean, especially if you have more than one, they kind of get in your way of mining. So
yes, I wouldn't have more than one on me at a time.
No.
And this goes back to, I think it needs fine tuning. I think its flight pattern is too much like a bee, and it should be just a tiny bit more parrot-like, where it's a bit precise.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for that one. You good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to get moving because we're getting late in the show here.
Yeah, we're pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
I figure we'd, spend a good time talking about the Allay. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, pretty exciting. If it can get tuned up.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I feel it's going to go the way of the Phantom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I'm sure they'll, mess with it a little bit, give it some tweaks.
I'm sure it's going to get worked on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And since you asked for my opinion, Lock On 4, I'm not a big user of automated storage systems. I kind of like manual storage, to be honest. It's kind of therapeutic to pop down my shulker boxes and put all the items away and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be looking at using the Allay for that kind of thing. But as Jimbo and Duds have discussed with sand mining and chorus fruit mining, if Mojang could fix the issues with that, then the Allay could be really, really useful in big projects like you're digging out a chunk for a slime farm, for example, and you need it to collect the stone. Because you always fill up your inventory with stone, but we've already discussed in the episode some of the limitations with the Allay. So if those could be worked out, that'd be awesome. I think I'd use the Allay more as a pet. I like the idea of having an Allay in the house, its own pet room, maybe make it a maze, and you could have little holes in the glass, you throw it items, and it has to go around the maze to find the items. I'm not sure how doable that is at the moment because I haven't had a chance to play with it, but I could see some cool ideas of some little pet mini games involving the Allay. So they're my ideas.
But anyways, thank you for that question, Lock On 4. That comment was from our Discord. It's the only place where you can talk to everyone who works on the show easily. Just take me Jason's word for it.
Hey friends, it's me Jason, and I'm a member of the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to talk to your fellow listeners and give your input into the show. You might even get your question or comment read out on a future episode. Join the Discord today. Link is in the show notes, and I'll see you there. Duds 100% this message.
Thank you for the Discord admin, Jason. And speaking of the Discord, it's the only place you can get involved in our Mending Minecraft vote. This week we asked you to choose between one of 3 biomes for us to discuss and improve. Your choices were Deep Ocean, Warped Forest, and Savannah.
And the winner, Mending Minecraft this week is... Savannah.
Yeah.
Pretty hefty win there. Savannah had 31 votes. Deep Ocean was second with 14 votes, and Warp Force was 7. So people want to see the Savannah be improved. So do I. A few things on the Savannah. Savannah is a common warm biome. Typically generates bordering a desert or plains biome. There are 3 variations of the Savannah. There's the Savannah Plateau, Windswept Savannah, also known as the Shattered Savannah, which I never heard of the Windswept Savannah before. I don't know if that was changed.
It was recently.
Yeah. And then the regular savanna. Those are your 3 variations. Savannas are mostly flat biomes with vast amounts of tall grass all over the terrain and is home to the acacia tree. Structures found in the savanna are savanna villages and pillager outposts. Horses, donkeys, and llamas are some unique mobs found there. As the savanna has an arid climate, it never rains here, and thus lightning can never naturally strike. And grass and leaves in the savanna take on a dull olive green color, giving an illusion of dryness. So that is all for the savanna.
So talking about the fact that it never rains there, this is one of the reasons why when I first started playing SMPs, I always lived in a savanna. I hated knowing that lightning could strike my building and burn it down.
Yeah.
I would always live in a savanna, so I never had to worry about that. But here's the thing. Savannas have 2 seasons. They have a dry season and they have a monsoon season where it rains a lot. So I'm taking in the fact that we're not trying to make the savanna like real savannas. We're trying to make it more Minecrafty for Minecraft purpose. So some of the things I'm going to mention don't necessarily line up exactly with a savanna in real life.
Okay.
But I'm putting a bit of a Minecraft twist, and I saw a lot of the comments saying, "You're just gonna do the biome vote stuff." Well, because of that, I put no biome vote stuff in here, doing my own thing. How dare you guys think I was gonna do that? The first thing I thought of was sandstorms. I want sandstorms in the savannah. How cool would that be? Like, you don't get rain, but every once in a while you get like just a dust fog effect that comes in.
Yeah, you might have to bring it to the desert as well.
A lot of the stuff I'm mentioning could work in the desert. Like I thought of tumbleweeds. I actually do think tumbleweeds were a thing.
Yeah.
In the desert biome vote, but it's a cool way to get sticks, and it brings motion and life to an area. But the big thing I always try to bring a new like tree type. Well, I'm not gonna bring a tree type this time. I'm bringing elephant grass.
Ooh, grass type.
Grass type. And this elephant grass is this really thick, sharp grass. And you can use this grass to clog up waterways, which I thought could be cool in the redstone area. It can also cause damage to mobs and stuff. Because it's razor sharp.
It's that sharp, huh? I have to check his stuff out.
Yeah, birds will nest in it to keep predators out and stuff like this. You remember early in Minecraft, people would build fences around their bases using cactus? Imagine doing a natural version of that with elephant grass.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to like stagger it either. Line it right up.
I mean, we have the berry bushes, which is prickly, but...
Yeah. Now, would this be like too high grass? So you can make an actual, what are those fences called? Razor fence? Barbed wire fence?
They do grow tall sometimes.
Okay.
So I think it would be a lot like the fern. You could have either the short version and then bone meal it to get it too tall.
Yeah, I like that.
And then finally, I'm adding an animal. Since I'm putting something in the game that hurts you in elephant grass, I figured we'd want a passive mob, and I went with a koala.
Oh, I like this.
Just because koalas are adorable and I want one.
Well, what would this koala do? You have any idea?
It's just an ambient mob. Maybe go hunting for berries or something like that. But for the most part, it's just going to climb things and live in trees.
Maybe it can like knock apples out of trees or something.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go up to it in an oak tree, there's going to be an apple item on the ground every once in a while. And see, that actually works with one of the things I wanted to talk about that I don't know if we're going to have time for. But coming up with new food for Minecraft using the old food, like better ways to craft things. If you could have koalas technically passively farming apples for you, making an apple a more realistic food source, that'd be so nice.
Yeah, it's another reason why koalas be a good idea.
Yeah,
originally I think it was meerkats that they were going to bring to the savannah. Or was that
No, it was an emu.
An emu?
Yeah, they're going to bring an emu in. And what was it, termites or something?
Oh, that's right. I think that's the desert I'm thinking of.
Yeah. And I was just like, Nah, we're not bringing termites and a bird getting koalas.
Yeah. There was what was it? Hawk?
Vulture.
Yeah. Was that the desert thing too? I think that was a desert thing.
Probably. I could see a vulture being useful in Minecraft and the fact that it could fly up and circle where you died.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a bit of a beacon.
Yeah, that'd be cool. At least in the biome you died in.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're in that biome where it helps.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of all I had for fixing the savannah.
Nice. One thing.
Okay.
What if there's one the zombie horse? There's really not a home for the zombie horse.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the savannah can be home to those since the horses are so common. That's one thing I was thinking about. You don't see these zombie horses at all. I think you have to breed a certain way to get those, but
I don't think you can get them in vanilla, period. Like, you have to use creative mode for bringing in.
Yeah, there's a spawn egg, and that's the only way.
I know on Comiccraft, like, that was one of the rewards for... Basically, we were constantly always trying to advertise and bring in new players to keep the server active. And we had these little links you can click to upvote. And basically, if you upvoted every link every day for a month, I think you got a zombie horse item. Like, we just straight up give you the spawn egg. You can spawn it if you want. If not, trash it. But zombie horses were in the server. That'd be cool to bring back.
Yeah.
Here's the worst part. We're like right on the edge of time.
Mm-hmm. I think we can make it.
Well, I'm trying to think, do we want to go ahead and bring this topic up now or save for later?
I think we talk about our travel.
Okay. So one of the ideas I want to talk about was bringing in new ways to fix traveling Minecraft. Because let's face it, once you get an elytra, it's over.
Yeah.
That's the new way to move about. And I was like, well, what could be some fun ways to fix traveling? And I had the idea of, instead of just having a boat that can carry 2 people, maybe you could make a sailboat that can hold up to 5 people. Now, instead of also holding 5 people, maybe now you can also hold things like horses. So you're no longer making your horse tread water behind you while you're in a boat, but now the horse can ride with you in the sailboat.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be really cool. It'd still work just like a normal boat, but it's just larger capacity.
Funny how I can't fit a horse in a boat, but I can fit a panda.
And a cow.
And a cow. Yeah. I mean, pretty sure they take up just as much space.
Right? Iron golems, I don't think can fit in boats.
Right.
So, yeah, I like the idea of a sailboat. It doesn't have to be these massive things. It can be, imagine putting 3 normal-sized boats together and then adding a small little banner as a sail. It can be something like that.
Okay.
We're not talking like you have to build this ginormous thing and then... No, it's...
magically bring it to life.
Yeah, no. Crafting recipes, just, I don't know, 5 boats in a U shape creates a sailboat. Maybe 2 banners in there.
I like the idea of using banners.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for the sail.
Yeah. I just think that could be really cool. It's not game breaking in any way. And elytra would still be a better way to move around individually, but the fact that you can now move multiple players, like if you're going out on a travel expedition with multiple people, that could be a fun way to get around, especially since we now have the wider rivers that are connecting to oceans and lakes better. It just makes a lot of sense to me. I love ocean travel in Minecraft. I wish there was just better versions of it.
And then there's the idea of adding chests to boats.
Yes.
Now, we're supposed to get this with the swamp update, but I didn't see it. I haven't came across it. We got our mangroves and our mud, even frogs, or toads. Frogs or toads? Frog.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the whole chests and boats thing, and that was supposed to be a swamp thing. But that'd be cool to add to the sailboat.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that yet either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my idea is just that, like, you have 5 player spots. And I say 5 players because I figured 2 on each side and then 1 person in the back who has to steer the boat.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a mob that takes up 2 spots, like a horse, the horse could sit on one side. Now you can have 3 players. Maybe a chest could take up a single player spot. So maybe if it's just you in a sailboat, you now can carry 4 chests in your sailboat. And now you combine that with shulker boxes. That's a massive amount of storage you can move around.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Kind of curious if you could pick this thing up. Like, could you hit it and just pick it up like a normal boat? Or would it have to be like deconstructed and built again?
Yeah, that's the only thing, because I mentioned building it in a crafting table.
Yeah.
So you would have to be able to pick it up after you craft it, but you're right. Just whacking it with the sword a couple times to pick it back up doesn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you hit it with the axe and it breaks like a chest and just kind of blur.
Yeah.
Now you have your 5 boats and 2 banners again.
Yeah. Just rebuild it.
You have to rebuild it every time. So there's a downside to it.
Yeah. Kind of similar to like a hopper minecart. They do the same thing.
Yeah.
You got to rebuild it. It becomes an item.
Exactly.
All right.
But I thought it's just a fun idea. I know we see it with Hermitcraft, like they're trying to kind of get into horses, bring that way of Minecraft back. And if there's a way of Minecraft I would be wanting to bring back, it's water travel, especially considering we played for years with boats just being the most flimsy thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You hit a lily pad and it would break.
Yep.
Now that we have durable boats now, I want more fun ocean travel.
Not only would they break, you'd like lose it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have enough supplies to make another one.
Yeah, and you're like, this. I remember that. It was like the first week I started playing.
Yeah.
I had my boat and I'd hit something and I'm like, what is the point? What's the point even having?
You park it up next to the shore too hard and plop.
Mm-hmm. Gone. But I guess we can get into mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be kind of quick. I was thinking of a way to travel through the sky with a new mob. I was thinking of an eagle, some kind of large bird. At first I was like a griffin could do it, but maybe an eagle to where it could grab the player by the shoulders, but it only takes you from point A to point B, only 2 locations. And maybe you have like 2 posts set up on each location. It just flies back and forth. So it can take you from like your base to someone else's base or your base to spawn town. And maybe there's another eagle there. You can take a ride to go from spawn town to someone else's base. Something like that, to where you wouldn't necessarily need the nether hub. Spawn town could have these eagles that could take you to everyone's bases.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be really cool. And then maybe you can't control where it flies, but maybe you can speed it up and slow it down as you go.
Yeah.
Thought that would be pretty cool.
The first thing I thought of when you said that was Lord of the Rings and Gandalf. Fly, you fools! Because everyone uses that as he told you to take the stupid birds.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
What kind of birds are those? That's what we need.
That would be fun. Especially because I kept bringing up dragons all the time. And what you're saying is like a rail system in the sky.
Right. Exactly.
So you're not controlling these animals flying around. It's like you build a nest and then you build another nest. And this bird flies from nest to nest.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about laying rails all through the terrain.
Exactly.
It's just in the sky. These things are rare,
Mm-hmm.
Not too sure where you could find them. That would need, some thought.
The only problem I can see with that is trying to get it to fly into unloaded chunks.
Yeah.
That might be a little hard, but I guess it could do that the same way the locate command works, because a locate command can find stuff that's not in loaded chunks, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Thought that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Something a little different. And then there's something I brought up a while ago that we could definitely use, and that's the zipline.
Yeah.
Connect it to your crossbow somehow, give crossbow a little bit more use. Now, I'm not talking like a grapple hook, but just a zip line. And I'm thinking possibly you could make it up to 60 block distance, and I think that's 5 chunks, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 12 by 12 is a chunk?
Yes, I think so.
I believe. Yeah, or 16 by 16, can't remember. Minecraft numbers, everything's like divisible by 8 or 16 or whatever. Anyways, 60 block distance I figure would be long enough. Could be your longest line. And just swing up or down. Well, I guess you could only go down. Man, now I'm thinking of flaws in my zip line. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah. Oh no. You're in trouble now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how it would work. You take your crossbow, you're at a certain point, and you'd shoot it. If you'd miss, you'd have to shoot it to get it to where you want it. You couldn't just place it. But wherever you shoot it, it would connect. and then on your end, you can connect it somewhere else.
Mhm.
But if you were to disconnect it on your end, you would have to pick it up on the other end. That's one way I was thinking could balance it a little bit.
Yeah.
It'd be annoying, but you'd have to go over to grab it on the other end. I don't know. Mojang will probably have better ideas than that for a zipline. A zipline would be fun.
Yeah, but this all goes around the fact that ropes need to be in Minecraft somehow.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the caves and mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's in the caves, you can only travel really by foot. Yeah, there are open caves you can use your elytra here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe some zip lines could help cave travel and mountain travel.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Those are my only 2 suggestions I got.
All right. The last thing I had was food crafting, but that's kind of a bigger topic, so we'll save that for another time.
Okay.
And I think that's going to do it for us. Before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting our show. The milk level patrons are Aubni, Crock, FragileRock, KC Plays Games, Obi, viperoustuna, and WyreGuy. If you too would like to get access to exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
And if you like the show, you can share it with all of your friends and on social media. My dog is going nuts downstairs. Can you hear him barking? Jesus, Grammy. If you listen on Spotify, rate and follow us so you never miss a future episode. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord, where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself.
And my 2 dogs.
And his 2 dogs. But also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show is up where it should be. And the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.